G'day, my name is Blair Cottrell. I'm speaking to you through this Facebook page because I'm banned from using Facebook. I'm banned for another 3 weeks. I think in the last 3 months I've been banned for 2 of those months, so I suppose I'm not left-wing or Jewish or woman or politically correct enough to have the privilege to post on Facebook freely. So I'm speaking to you through this page just for today. But regarding the man in the pink mankini that we saw yesterday in Melbourne. Now, if you just see the video that was uploaded somewhere, it seems like I'm a raging behemoth who's harassing a poor street performer. But really there's a lot more to it than that. The cameras didn't start rolling until well into this altercation, I suppose you could say. There was words exchanged between me and this man before the cameras started rolling. As I was walking past this man initially, he signalled to me and said that you look like you're holding on to too much masculinity, mate. You need to let some of that go. And I said to him, "What? Who are you? What are you doing?" I noticed he was taking his shirt off in front of all of these people, including kids. And he said, "Don't worry about what I'm doing, mate. You just lose that masculinity." And I'm like, "Okay, mate." So I kept walking. Now, I'm not someone who gets agitated very easily. I cop a lot of flack and I usually stay pretty level-headed. But then he said to me, "Do you want to fight? Is that what you want? Do you want to fight?" And I turned around and said, "Hey." And he shaped up to sort of imitate me, I think. Like, yeah, he wants to fight me. See, as soon as I mentioned fight, he's all over it. And he laid on the ground and said, "This is what masculinity does to you guys. You'll be covered in blood on the ground." And I just said, "Whatever, mate." And so I walked away, and he was trying to make me, I think, part of his act or to make fun of me. And I continued to walk away, and he was still shouting at me, but I don't know what he was saying. I turned around once to see that he was in a pink mankini. It looked like a G-string from the front. And I thought that was absurd because I noticed that there were toddlers around him and families. This was a public place in the city of Federation Square. A number of my colleagues were at a nearby pub. I don't drink, but I went to inform them as to what I saw. And by this time I was quite frustrated, as you might have seen. Now, a friend of mine contacted me today, a good friend. She's a smart girl, she's into psychology, and recently she's been reading a book on this particular subject. And I found what she said to me today very interesting. She said that how that guy reacted to me approaching him is to the T, to the book, exactly how a man who has been assaulted or who has experienced some sort of childhood trauma would act as an adult. Because if you watch the video from start to finish, I never threatened the man. I never raised my voice at him, I never raised my fists up, and I didn't intend to intimidate him. All I wanted him to do was to cover up because there was kids there. I didn't like to see him dressed that way in front of kids, and I wasn't alone. A lot of my colleagues didn't like it either. But his reaction was not to say, "Hey mate, I'm a legitimate performer, I have a permit, this is totally legal, if you have a problem call the police or call the council," something like that. No, he reacted as though I was trying to harass him or trying to assault him. That's not what I was trying to do. Watch the video for yourself again. I think he reacted very dramatically because he's got issues, this guy. And for that reason, I'm somewhat apologetic. In the beginning, especially when I asked him, "Are you a pedophile?" and he screamed for the police and then ran away, I became more frustrated because I thought that's what a guilty person would do. But now I think perhaps this guy is dealing with some internal issues, some deep-seated issues, and I really don't think that dancing to Prince music, if you don't know, Prince was one of the first ever bisexual or gender neutral music artists in the music industry. I don't think dancing in a pink mankini to Prince in a public place in winter in front of toddlers is the right way to deal with your issues, and that's just my opinion. But I don't know. Like, what do you reckon, Tom? Like, we've got some other boys at the club here who might want to say something about it because it is very interesting the way this guy reacted to me. It was very melodramatic and I don't think I did anything that was particularly intimidating. I mean, I know that I'm bigger than most people, but I can't really do much.
He's not that big.
I can't do much about that.
That's toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I can't do much about that.
Yeah.
But as I said from the beginning, I didn't say anything to deliberately intimidate this guy. All I wanted him to do was to cover up in front of those kids. Like, I really don't understand anyone who's defending this guy. At the end of the day, this guy was in a pink mankini, okay, in the middle of winter. You could see the outline of his genitals. It was very obscene. Okay, he's dancing on the street to Prince music in front of toddlers. Why would you defend that? Like, if you defend that, I think you're part of the problem. This guy's obviously got issues, as I said, and instead of helping this guy deal with his issues, the left, I think, is just trying to normalise what this guy is, to try to make everyone like that. And I really don't think that's a solution to whatever this problem is.
What did you see, Ricky?
Well, that's the thing. Blair actually, we were rocked up first and actually saw him just entertaining, but he had all his clothes on and we're walking past. Yeah. And we're walking with our flags just after the march and he's pointed over, what's that supposed to be? Like, I'm kind of confused with what he was talking about. And I'm like, what are you talking about, mate? And he goes, what are you wearing? What are they? Just kept asking the question. We ended up stopping and then Sheila got up and said, obviously they're flags. He goes, oh, footy or cricket, who cares? Just taking the piss. And I thought I looked at Neil and I said, that was strange. That's when Blair's rocked up and he's walked into the pub and said, this bloke's asked for a fight. So twice he's bringing it on himself, trying to bring blokes in to antagonise us.
That's a good point.
That's
too,
why I was,
It's a good point because he mentioned when I first walked past him, do you want to fight me? And then he said it again when we walked back there to basically turn his amp off and tell him to cover up. He says, oh, we're here for a fight, are we? No, we weren't.
No.
We weren't there for a fight. We never wanted to fight this guy. That was he alluded to that. We didn't. So that's why.
So straight away, he's on the front foot. Oh, we're fighting.
Yeah.
If he had literally just said, listen, boys, I'm just entertaining. Look, might be a bit inappropriate. I'll put some clothes on. But look, I'm with the council. I've already got my permits and all that. I'm allowed to do what I need to do. But he ran away. He literally said, are you here to fight? So you're talking to blokes and saying, are you here to fight me? And trying to get on his high horse.
Yeah,
that's the third time.
That's part of the problem that he has, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought was confusing.
Whatever issue this guy has, he can't deal with confrontation.
Correct.
He just can't deal with it. But
he asked for it at the same time.
Correct.
He did. Another point too is I don't actually have a problem with what this guy's wearing or what he's doing. I just had a problem with where he was doing it. This guy could rent out a private venue and people can go and watch that stuff. That's up to them. That's like what people do in private venues is no business of mine. But when there's kids and families there, 3 and 4 year old kids, which there were in this area, I think that's obscene. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't know why anyone would sign off on a permit like that and make that necessary. I think that's a real problem.
As me and Tom were up the top, because we went and watched from the top because we just thought it'd be nothing, but it ended up him running around screaming, police, police. Like, who screams? It sounded like a kid at school screaming for a teacher, please, please help me. Well, hold on, what happened to having a chit-chat or, all right, blokes are walking over. If you had to say, listen, blokes, fellas, I'm just here entertaining. Yeah. What seems to be the problem? Yeah, not once did he say that. And straight away, and Blair was, and it's funny, it looks angry in the video, but he was just frustrated because when we asked the question, what, some kind of pedophile, boom, that was it. He just screamed, ran off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else, boys?
I think that's it. But I think
just want to clear it up and just explain to people what actually happened.
A lot of the comments I'm getting to are typical of what I get from the left. They try to turn everything upside down. Everything's backwards to them.
Correct.
Apparently, I'm the one with the psychological issues. Okay, I confront a guy dancing in a pink mankini in the middle of winter in the city.
It was 10 degrees.
In front of kids, in front of toddlers. But apparently I'm the one with the psychological issues, okay? Obviously this guy has issues, and like I said, he's not dealing with them in the right way. And if you're encouraging that kind of behaviour, you're part of the problem too. You're not helping that, so that's it.
See you guys.
That was perfect.